We are live. Hello, good evening, everybody. We are. I guess we named ourselves the Pandemic Players. That's eventually what we settled on. That was just a name that someone suggested, and I liked it the best. Anyway, so we're just a group of people who get together and read Shakespeare every couple weeks, and we stream on the Montford Park Players YouTube. So please support Montford Park Players this summer. They are planning a COVID-safe summer season. So come out if you are local to Asheville. Come out and support them. Tonight we'll be reading Hamlet, and we're going to get started with everyone introducing themselves. So I'll go first. My name is Mandy Bean, and I'll be reading Ophelia and Gravedigger 2.
My name's George Hurd, and I'll be reading The Ghost, The Player King, and The Priest.
My name is Matt Tavener, and I will be Polonius and Gravedigger 1.
Sorry. My name is Tom Griffin, and I will be playing King Claudius.
My name is Jason Williams, and I'll be playing the Great Dane Hamlet.
I'm Savannah Gibson, and I'll be playing Horatio.
I'm Natasha Charles. I'll be playing Gertrude, the Queen, and I'm also reading Francisco and Rinaldo.
Hi, I'm Sonia D'Andrea, reading Laertes and the First Player.
My name is Haven Volpe. I'm reading Marcellus, Lucianus, and Fortinbras.
My name is Nana Hosmer-Griffin, and I will be reading Bernardo, the Player Queen, and Osric.
My name is Connor Dalton, and I will be reading Rosencrantz, Voltemand, and Ambassador.
My name is Mika Parks. I will be reading Guildenstern, Cornelius, and the entire dumb show.
The entire dumb show. All right. So that's everybody. And also we have just was going to thank Tiffany for tech support and just blanked on Tiffany's last name.
Fisher Love.
Thank you, Tiffany Fisher Love on tech support. It's the third last name I've blanked on tonight, you guys. All right, so we are going to get started. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this reading of the abridged reading of Hamlet.
Who's there?
And you answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Bernardo, you come most carefully upon your hour.
Oh, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand ho! Who's there?
Friends to this ground.
And liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo hath my place. Give you good night.
Holla, Bernardo.
Say what, is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him touching this dreaded sight twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again the apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, 'twill not appear.
Sit down a while and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we have 2 nights seen.
Well, sit we down and let us hear Bernardo speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star, that's westward from the pole, had made its course to illumine the part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating 1.
Peace. Break thee off. Look where it comes again.
In the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks he not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like, it harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Speak to it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurps this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of Barry Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay, speak, speak, I charge thee, speak.
'Tis gone, and will not answer.
How now, Horatio, you tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it?
Before my God, I might not this believe without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself, such was the very armor he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. 'Tis strange.
Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour, with martial stalk he hath gone by our watch.
And what particular thought to work I know not, but in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption of our state.
Good now, sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of a land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war? Why such impress of shipwrights, whose sore task does not divide the Sunday from the week? What might be toward, that this sweaty haste doth make the night joint labor with the day? Who is that can inform me?
That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, thereto pricked on by a most emulate pride, dared to the combat, in which our valiant Hamlet did slay this Fortinbras, who, by a sealed compact well ratified by law and heraldry, did forfeit with all his life with those of his lands, which he stood seized of to the conqueror, against the which of moiety competent was gauged by our king. Now, sir, young Fortinbras of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes for food and diet to some enterprise that hath a stomach in it. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch. But soft, behold, where it comes again. I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak. Or if thou hast uphoarded in thy life extorted treasure in the womb of earth, for which, they say, you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
'Tis here.
'Tis here.
'Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it the show of violence, for it is as the air, invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. I have heard the cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill sounding throat awake the god of day, and at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine, and of the truth herein this present object made probation.
It faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ere against that season come wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, the bird of dawning singeth all night long, and then, they say, no spirit dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome, then no planet strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm, so hallowed and so gracious is that time.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we up our watch, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For, upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him. Do you consent we shall acquaint him with it, as needful in our loves, fitting our duty?
Let's do it, I pray. And I this morning know where we will find him most conveniently.
Now, for ourselves and for this time of meeting, this much the business is. We have here Will to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who, impotent and bedrid, scarcely hears of his nephew's purpose. And we have dispatched you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltemand, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway, giving to you no further personal power to business with the king, more than the scope of these diluted articles below. Farewell, and let your haste command your duty.
In that and all things we shall show our duty.
We doubted nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes?
My dread lord, now that the funeral rites are performed, you are given favor to return to France, from whence so willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty. Yet now I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's blessing? What say Laertes?
He
What say
hath, my
Polonius?
lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition. I do beseech you give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces speed at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much in the sun.
For your intent is going back to school in Wittenberg. It is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye. Our chiefest courtier cousin, and our son.
My lord, 'tis not alone my inky cloak, nor the fruitful river of the eye, nor the dejected haver of the visage, together with all forms, mood, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. But I have that within which passes show, these but the trappings and suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable of your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know your father lost a father, and that father lost his. And the survivor bound in filial obligation for some torn to do obsequious sorrow. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. Fie, 'tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd, whose common theme is death of fathers, and who still hath cried, from the first chord till he died today, this must be so.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and fair reply. No joke in health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, and the king rouse the heaven and brew it again. We're speaking early thunder. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king that was to this, Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven, visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it had fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think on it. Frailty, thy name is woman, a little month, or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears. Why, even she, oh God, a beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her gullet eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. Break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well. Horatio, or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that word with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio?
A truant disposition, good my lord.
I would not hear your enemies say so, nor shall you do my ear violence to make it truster of your own report against yourself. I know you are no truant. But what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I prithee, fellow student, do not mock me. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio! The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I'd seen that day, Horatio. My father, methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father?
Season your admiration for a while with an attent ear, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch, in the dead waste and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father, armed at point exactly, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. Thrice he walked by their oppressed and fear-surprised eyes, within his truncheon's length, whilst they, distilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy in part they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered, both in time, form of the thing, each word made true and good, the apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
This is very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true, and we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watch.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak. But even the morning cock crew loud, and as the sound it shrunk away and haste away, and vanished far from our sight.
Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
Aye, my lord.
Armed, you say?
Armed,
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
My
My
lord,
lord, from head to foot.
Then you saw not his face?
Oh, yes, my lord, he wore his beaver up.
What, looked he frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And he fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
Would I have been there?
It would have much amazed you.
Very like. Stayed it long?
While one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Longer.
His beard was grizzled, no?
It was, as I have seen it in his life, as sable silvered.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite you for your loves. So fare you well. Upon a platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty
Our
to your
duty
honor.
to your honor.
Your loves as mine to you. Farewell. My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come! Till then sit still my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth overwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The chariest maid is prodigal enough if she unmask her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself scapes not calumnious strokes. Be wary then. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whiles like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. But here my father comes. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame! The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee. And these few precepts in thy memory look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged courage. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are of a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord. Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet?
Marry, well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me, and that in way of caution, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behooves my daughter and your honor.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pah! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion, and hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springs to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. From this time, be something scanter of your maiden presence. Tender yourself more dearly, or not to crack the wind of the poor phrase, running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
I shall obey, my lord.
Do not believe his vows, for they are brokers, not of that dye which their investments show, but mere implorators of unholy suits. I would not in plain terms from this time forth have you so slander any moment's leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you.
I will, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. 'Tis very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and take his rouse, keeps wassail and a swaggering of upspring reels, and as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and the trumpet thus bray out, the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Ay, marry, is it? But to my mind, though I am native here, and to the manner born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance.
Look, my lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us! Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring with thee airs from heaven or blast from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me! Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly inurned hath opened its ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if some impartment did desire to you alone.
Look with what courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
It will not speak, then I will follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff that beetles over his base into the sea, and there assumes some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it.
It waves me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
My lord, be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still I am called. Unhand me, gentlemen, or by heaven I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. Away! I say away. Go on, I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Have after. To what issue will this come?
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house, I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres, thy knotted and combined locks to part, and each particular hair to stand and end, like quills upon the fearful Pompentine. But this eternal blazon must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List, list, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh, God!
Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt, and duller shouldst thou be than the fat weed that roots itself in ease on Lethe wharf. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me, so the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death, rankly abused. But now, though you know, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wits, with traitorous gifts. O wicked wits and gifts that have the power so to seduce, one to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen, but virtue as it will never be moved, thou lewdness caught it in a shape of heaven, so lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon. Upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with a juice of cursed Herbona in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor it doth posset and curd, like eager droppings into milk, the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen at once dispatched, cut off, even in the blossoms of my sin, unhouselled, disappointed, unannealed, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Horrible, oh horrible, most horrible.
Oh, God!
If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever you pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge, to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu, 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 remember me.
Oh, all you host of heaven! Oh, earth! What else? Shall I couple hell? Remember thee, aye, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee, hey, from the memory, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past youth, and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven! Oh, villain! Villain! Smiling, damned villain! My tables. Meet it is, I set it down, that one may smile and still be a villain. At least I'm sure it is so. It may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu. Adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it.
My lord, my lord!
Lord Hamlet.
Oh,
Cure him!
so be it.
How is't, my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you will reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of a man once think it, but you'll be secret?
I, by heaven, my lord.
My lord.
There's never a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an arrant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You are in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You to your business and desires shall point you, for every man hath business and desire, such as it is, and for my own part, I will go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you. For our desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord,
My
we will
lord,
not.
we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Where?
Boy, sayest thou? Art thou there, true Penny? Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage. Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Where?
Hicut epique. Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hand upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword.
Swear by his sword.
Well said, old mole. Canst work in the earth so fast? Oh, worthy pioneer. Once more, remove, good friends.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
Therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here, as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soever I bear myself, as I may perchance hereafter I shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such time seeing me, never shall, with the arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or with such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This do swear, so grace and mercy at your most need help you.
Where?
Rest, rest, perturbed spirit. So, gentlemen, with all my love, I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is, may do it to express his love and friending to you. God willing, shall not lack. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Give him this money and these notes, Rinaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Rinaldo, for before you visit him, to make inquire of his behavior. Take you as 'twere some distant knowledge of him, as thus, I know his father and his friends, and impart him, but you may say, not well, and there put on him what forgeries you please, but sir, such wanton wild and usual slips as are companions noted and most known to youth and liberty.
As gaming, my lord.
Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbing, you may go so far.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
Faith, no, as you may season it in the charge. You must not put another scandal on him that he is open to incontinency. That's not my meaning, but breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty, the flash and outbreak of a fiery mind, a savageness in unreclaimed blood of general assault.
But good my lord.
Wherefore should you do this?
Aye, my lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here's my drift, and I believe it is a fetch of wit. You, laying these slight sullies on my son, as 'twere a thing a little soiled in the working, mark you, your party in converse. He closes with you in his consequence, and then, sir, does he this, he does... What was I about to say? By the mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At closes in consequence.
At closes in the consequence. Aye, Mary, he closes thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday, or the other day. There was he gaming, there o'ertook in his ruse, there falling out at tennis, or perchance, I saw him enter such a house of sale, videlicet a brothel, or so forth. See you now, your bait of falsehood, take this carp of truth. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with you. Fare you well.
Good, my lord.
And let him ply his music.
Well, my lord.
Farewell. How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, unguarded, and down jived to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purport as if he had been loosed out of a hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me. He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then he goes to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last a little shaking of mine arm, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
Mad for thy love. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters, and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. By heaven, it is as proper to our age to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions as it is common for the younger sort to lack discretion. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not coated him. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, which, being kept close, might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Come.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation, so call it? Since nor the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. I entreat you both that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court, some little time to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou hast still been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure my good liege I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it hath used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That do I long to hear.
Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be fruit to that great feast.
Welcome, good friends. So, Voltemand, what from our brother Norway?
Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Pole. But better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness. Whereat grieved that so his sickness, age, and impotence was falsely borne in hand, sends out arrests on Fortinbras, which he in brief obeys, receives rebuke from Norway, and in fine makes vow before his uncle nevermore to give the assay of arms against your majesty. Whereon old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ those soldiers so levied as before against the Pole, with an entreaty herein further shown that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well, and at a more considered time we'll read. Answer and think upon this business. Meanwhile, we thank you for your well-took labor. Go to your rest, and a night we'll feast together. Most welcome home.
This business is well ended. My liege, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, let us grant him then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say, the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause.
More matter with less art.
I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. Doubt that the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Oh dear Ophelia, I am ill at these numbers. I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. Oh, most best believe it, adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet. But what might you think when I had seen this hot love on the wing?
As of a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. And then I prescripts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repelled, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, thence to a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves, and all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
Hath there been such a time, I would fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when proved otherwise? If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center.
May we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby. At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras then, mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from this his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant for estate, but keep a farm and carters.
We will try it.
But look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us.
I shall obey you, and for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness.
Ophelia, walk you there. Gracious, so you please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book. Let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep no more. And by a sleep we say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than to fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience doth make cowards of us all. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is into a bawd, than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometimes a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did, and with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind.
I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I myself am indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it would better that my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offences at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should fellows such as I do crawling between the earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell!
Oh, help him, you gods.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thou dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Farewell.
Alas, what change is this?
Or if thou wilt needs marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Heavenly powers restore him.
I have heard of your paintings too well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, and you lisp. You nickname God's creatures and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to, I'll no more on it. It hath made me mad. I say we will have no more marriage. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery.
Oh, what a noble mind is here overthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most dejected and wretched, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of time and harsh. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love? His affections do not that way vex, then. There's something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits on brood.
My lord, do as you please, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. See where he comes. I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave. How does my good lord Hamlet? You know me, my lord?
Excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
And I would you are so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words. Words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hands. All of which, sir, though I'm most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. Yet, for yourself, sir, should grow old as I am, if like a crab, you could go backwards.
How pregnant sometimes his replies are, yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone. And truly, in my youth, I suffered much extremity for love very near this. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that's out of the air. Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. My lord, I will take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all, except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is.
Oh, God save you, sir.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends. How dost thou, a Guildenstern? Ah, Rosencrantz. Good lads, how do you both? What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune as she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wars, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. But I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Anything but to the purpose. You are sent for, and there's a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you. But be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay then, I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercise. And indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave overhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why, it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, or woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what entertainment the players shall receive from you? We coted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer your service.
What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take such delight in, the tragedians of the city.
How chance they travel? Their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways.
I think their inhibition comes by means of the late innovation.
Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed?
No, indeed they are not.
How comes it? Do they grow rusty?
Nay, their endeavor keeps in the wonted pace, but there is, sir, an area of children, little eyases that cry out on the top of question and are most tyrannically clapped for it. These are now the fashion, and so beradle the common stages that many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills and dare scarce come thither.
Do the boys carry it away?
Aye, that they do, my lord. Hercules and his load too.
It is not very strange, for my uncle is the king of Denmark, and those that would make mouths at him when my father lived give 20, 40, 50, 100 ducats apiece for his picture in little. His blood, there is something in this more than natural if philosophy could find it out.
There are the players.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands, come then. Let me comply with you in this garb, lest my extent to the players, which I must tell you must show fairly outwards, should more appear like entertainment than yours. You are welcome, but my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Will be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you two, each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clothes.
Happily he is the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy, he comes to tell me of the players' market. You say right, sir, a Monday morning, 'twas then indeed.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscius was an actor in Rome...
The actors are come hither, my lord.
Ooh, buzz, buzz.
Upon my honor.
Oh, then each actor came in on his ass.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral comical, historical pastoral, tragical historical, tragical comical historical pastoral, scene indivisible, or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light. For the law of writ and the liberty, these are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hast thou!
What a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter and no more, the which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not in the right, old Jephthah?
If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then, my lord?
Why, as by lot God wot, and then, it came to pass as most like it was, for the first row of the pious chanson will show you more, for look where my abridgment comes. You are welcome, masters, welcome all. I am glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Oh, my old friend. Why, thy face is balanced since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? What, my young lady and my mistress? By your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last. By the altitude of a Chopin. Pray God, your voice like a piece of uncurrent gold be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are all welcome. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was not above once. For the play I remember Please Not the Million. 'Twas caviar to the general, but it was an excellent play, well digested in the scenes, set down with as much modesty as cunning. In one speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas's tale of Dido, and thereabout of it, especially when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin it at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Heraclean beast. No, it is not so. It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the knight resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now his dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot, now he is total glues, horribly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and pasted in the parching streets. that lend a tyrannous and damned light to their lord's murder. Roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersize with coagulate gore, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam seeks. So proceed you.
For God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, in rage strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, with flaming top stoops to his base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus's ear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing.
This is too long.
It shall be to the barbers with your beard. Prithee say on. He is for a jig, or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on. Come to Hecuba.
But who, woe, had seen the mobled queen?
The mobled queen.
That's good. Mobled queen is good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with besom room, a clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er timid loins a blanket, in the alarm of fear caught up, who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped, 'gainst fortune's state would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look where he has not turned his color and has tears in his eyes. Prithee, no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest of this soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you are better to have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's budkins, man, much better! Use every man after his desert, and who shall scape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit it is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can thou play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert into it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you, mock him not. My good friends, I'll leave you till tonight. You are welcome at Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Aye, so goodbye to you. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is this not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wand, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and all in his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba! What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do that had he the motive and cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, like a dull and muddy metal rascal, peak like John dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my paid cross, plucks my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, give me the lie as deep as in the throat as to the lungs? Who does me this? Ha! Soons! I should take it. For it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave. That I, a son of a dear father murdered, and prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fie upon it! Faugh! About my brains. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. But I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you by no drift of conference get from him why he puts on this confusion, grading so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof when we would bring him on to some confession of his true state.
Do you assay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and, as I think, they have already ordered this night to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge and drive his purpose towards these delights.
We shall, my lord.
My lord, if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed so please you in the ear of all their conference.
It likes us well. Gertrude, what say you?
I've lost my script, and so I say nothing at the moment, except maybe, my lord, I will.
Send for him soon.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I have pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, at least the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hands thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it a smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the very soul to hear a robustious, periwig painted fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for outdoing termagant. It out-Herods Herod, I pray you avoid it.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Oh, reform it altogether. Oh, there be players that I have seen play and heard others praise, and that highly too, not to speak it profanely, that neither having the action of Christians nor the gait of Christian, pagan, nor man, have strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably.
I warrant your honor.
And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh, to set some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too, though in the meantime some necessity of question of the play be then to be considered. That is villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go make you ready. But ho! Horatio,
Here, sweet lord, and at your service.
Horatio, thou art even just a man as ever my conversation coped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flatter. For what advancement may I hope from thee, that no revenue hast but thy good spirits to feed and clothe thee? Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice, and could of men distinguish, her election hath sealed thee for herself. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of heart, as I do thee. That's something too much of this. There is a play tonight, before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe my uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkindle in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's city. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing and scape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, in faith, of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed capon, so. My lord, you played at the university once, you say?
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
Oh, it was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord. They stay upon your patience.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet. Sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive. Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap. Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That's a fair thought to lie between a maid's legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
What means this, my lord?
Mary, this is milk and maleco. It means mischief.
Like this show imports the argument of the play.
We shall know by this fellow.
Will he tell us what this show means?
Aye, or any show that you will show him. Be you not ashamed to show, he'll not be ashamed to tell you what it means. The players cannot keep counsel, they'll tell all.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this the prologue or a posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Full 40 years have passed, their date is gone, since happy time joined both our hearts as one. And now the blood that filled my youthful veins runs in their pipes, and all the strains of music with whom pleased my ear is now a burden that age cannot bear. And therefore must I, and leave the earth with you.
Oh, say not so, lest you kill my heart. When death takes you, let life from me depart.
Content thyself, when ended is my date. Thou mayest, perchance, have a more noble mate, more wise, more youthful, and one.
Oh, speak no more, for then I am accursed. None weds the second, but she kills the first. A second time I kill my lord that's dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
Oh, wormwood, wormwood.
I do believe you, sweet, what now you speak, but what we do determined off we break. for our demises still are overthrown. Our thoughts are vows, their end none of our own. So think you will no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Both here and there pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be a wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn, sweet leave me here a while, my spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious time with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
No, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
No, they do but jest and poison and jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call this play?
The Mousetrap. Mary, how? Tropically. The play is an image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the duke's name, his wife Baptista. You shall see anon. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty and we that have free souls, it touches us not. But the gall of jade wince, our withers are unwrung. This is one of Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dallying.
You are married, my lord?
Who, I? Oh, God, your only jig maker. What should I men do but be merry? For look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay then, let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens! Died 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. Then there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year. But by your lady, he must build churches then, or else he shall suffer with not thinking on, with the hobby horse, whose epitaph is, for oh, the hobby horse is forgot.
You are keen, my lord, you are keen.
It would cost you a groaning to take off mine edge.
Still better and worse.
So you mistake your husbands. Begin, murderer! Pox! Leave thy damnable faces and begin! Come! The croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing, confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's band thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property on wholesome life usurp immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate.
Give me some light. Away!
The king rises. Lights! Lights!
What?
Lights!
Frighted with false fire? Why, let the stricken deer go weep, the heart unguarded play, for some must watch while some must sleep, thus run the world away. Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word for 1,000 pounds. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you. The king in his retirement marvelous distempered.
Ooh, if the king like not the tragedy, then belike he likes it not, purdy.
The queen your mother desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
My lord, you once did love us.
And do still by these pickers and stealers. Oh, will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these I cannot command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck me out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. Spud! Do you think I'm easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge.
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir, that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. But such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an apple, like an ape, an apple in the corner of his jaw, first mouth to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge, you will be dry again.
Well, my lord, we'll take our leave.
Farewell, farewell, God bless you.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in the shape of a camel?
By the mass, and 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it's like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by.
I will say so.
Leave me, friend. Soft, now to my mother. O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter into this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. How in my words, whatsoever she be shent, to give them seals, never my soul's consent.
Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven and hath the primal elder curse upon it. A brother's murder. Pray can I not through inclination be as sharp as will? My stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. My fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can save my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? that cannot be, since I am still possessed of these effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of the world, offenses guilt in hand may shove by justice, and oft is seen the wicked prize itself by out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There is the action less in his own true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Help, angels, make us say, bow stubborn knees and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews on the newborn babe. Oh, baby, well.
Now might I do it, Pat. Now he is a praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged. That would be scanned. The villain kills my father, and for that, I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven? This is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown as flush as May, and how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven. And am I then revenged to take him and the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid hint. When he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at game, swearing, or at some act that hath no relish of salvation in it, then trip him that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up and my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
He will come straight. I'll silence me even here. Pray you, be round with him.
Mother! Mother! Mother!
I'll warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw, I hear him coming.
How now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the road, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Hey then, I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come, come, and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not until I set up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help, ho!
What ho, help!
How now? A rat? Dead for a ducat! Dead!
I am slain.
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
Kill a king?
Aye, lady, it was my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool! Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Leave the wringing of your hands. Peace! Sit you down and let me wring your heart. For so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom hath not brazed it so that it be proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Look here upon this picture and on this. This counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow? Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eagle, an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury, new lighted on heaven-kissing hill, a combination and form indeed of every god did seem to set his seal and give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Now look you what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? What devil was it that hath thus cozened you at Hoodman blind?
Thou Hamlet, speak no more.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
Oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in my ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not the 20th part tithe of your prescient lord, a king of shreds and patches.
No more.
You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame, it is humble, and it waits on the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Oh, shame, where is thy blush? Rebellious hell, if thou can mutine in a matron's bones, to flaming youth let virtue be as wax and melt her in her own fire.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Save me and hover over me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure? Do you not come your tardy son to chide, that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say!
Do not forget this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. O step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest body, strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy and with the incorporeal air hold discourse.
Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you there, look how it steals away. My father in his habit as he lived. Look where it goes even now out of the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy? My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time and makes as healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Mother, For the love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins and worse remains behind.
What shall I do?
Not this, by no means, that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pitch wanton on your cheek, and call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reeky kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you ravel all this matter out, that I am essentially not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night indeed. This counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Does matter in these sighs, these profound heaves, you must translate. Does fit we understand them. Where is your son?
Oh, mine own lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and wind, when both contend, which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the arms, hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, "A rat! A rat!" And in this brainish apprehension, kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It has been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to us all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Friends both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel, I pray you. Haste to this. O Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. In this vile deed we must be with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Come, Gertrude, we'll call upon our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. How now, what hath befallen?
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
Now, Hamlet, where is Polonius?
At supper.
At supper where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are eaten at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. Your fat king and your lean beggar are but variable service, 2 dishes, but to 1 table. A man may fish with a worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of a fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven! Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay until you come.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety, which we do tender, as we dearly grieve for what thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready and the wind at help. The associates 10 and everything is bent for England.
For England!
Aye, Hamlet.
Come for England! Farewell, dear mother.
And thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so, my mother. Come for England!
Follow him at foot. Tend him with speed aboard. Delayeth not. I'll have him hence tonight. Away, for everything is tended and sealed and done. That else leans on the affair. Pray make you haste. In England, if my love thou holdest at aught, and thy free awe pays homage to us, then mayst not coldly set our sovereign process, which imports it full by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England. For like the hectic in my blood, he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys will ne'er begin.
Fortinbras, are you there? Hello? Captain?
We will not speak with him, with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will need to be pitied. She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems and beats her heart, spurns enviously at straws, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. 'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. And now behold, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment.
Her brother is in secret come from France, feeds on his wonder, keeps himself in clouds, and wants not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death.
To my sick soul, in sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss, so full of artless jealousy as guilt. It spills itself in fearing to be split.
Where's the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
White his shroud as the mountain snow, larded all the sweet flowers, which bewept to the ground did not go with true love showers. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone. Oh-ho!
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God healed you. I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but weep to think they would lay him in the cold ground. And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He will never come again. His beard was white as snow, all flaxen was his poll. He is gone, and we cast away moan. God have mercy on his soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray, God be with you.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, my dear Gertrude, this, like to a muttering peace in many places, gives me superfluous death.
Where is he?
Alack, what noise is this?
Where is this king? Sir, stand you well without keep the door. Oh, thou vile king, give me my father.
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's come proclaims me bastard. Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with.
Let him go, dear Gertrude. Do not fear our person. There's such divinity doth hedge a king that treason can but peep to what it would. Acts little of his will. Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father, is it writ in your revenge that swoopstake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser?
To his good friends, thus wide I'll ope my arms, and like the kind life-rendering pelican, repast them with my blood.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman, that I am guiltless in your father's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment peer as day does to your eye.
How now, what noise is that? Oh, Rose of May. Dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh, heavens, is possible a young maid's wits should be as mortal as an old man's life?
They bore him barefaced on the bier, hey non nonny nonny, hey nonny, and in his grain rayed many a tear. Fare you well, my dove. There's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember. And there's pansies, that's for thoughts.
Document in madness, thoughts and remembrance fitted.
There's fennel for you and columbines. There's rue for you, and here's some for me. We may call it herb of grace a Sundays. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. God be at your table.
Thoughts and afflictions, passion, hell itself, she turns to favor and to prettiness.
Pray, let's have no words on this, but when they ask you what it means, say this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and up to the chamber door, let in the maid that out a maid never departed more. Indeed, without an oath, I'll make an end on it. By just and by St. Charity, alack and fie for shame, young men will do it if they come to it, by cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. He answers, so would I have done by yonder sun, and how has not come to my bed. My brother shall know of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Do you see this, oh God?
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchman o'er his bones, no noble right nor formal ostentation, cry to be heard, as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
And so you shall, and where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
Go, Captain. From us greet the Danish king. Tell him that by his license, Fortinbras craves a conveyance of a promised march across his kingdom. You know the rendezvous. If that his majesty would aught with us, we shall express our duty in his eye and let him know so.
I will do it, my lord.
Go softly on.
God bless you, sir. There's a letter for you. It came from the ambassador that was bound for England.
I do not know from what part of the world I should be greeted, if not from Lord Hamlet. Horatio, when thou shalt have overlooked this, give these fellows some means to this king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant, they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. I am to do a good turn for them. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear, will make thee dumb. Yet are they much too light for the bore of the matter. This good fellow will bring thee where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that thou knowest thine, Hamlet. Come, I will give you way for these your letters, and do it the speedier, that you may direct me to him from whom you brought them.
How now? What news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. These to your majesty, this to the queen.
From Hamlet? But who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not. They were given me by Horatio. He received them of him that brought them.
Laertes, you shall hear these. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon, thereunto recount the occasion of my sudden and therefore strange return. Hamlet. What does this mean? Are all the rest come back? Or is it some abuse and no such thing?
I am lost in it, my lord. But let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord, so you will not o'errule me to a peace.
You have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing for a quality wherein they say you shine. 2 months since here was a gentleman of Normandy, and he made some confession of you, and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier most especial, that he cried out, 'twould be a sight indeed if one could match you. The scrimmers of their nation, he swore, had neither motion, guard, nor eye if you opposed them. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming o'er to play with you. Now out of this.
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself indeed your father's son more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. But good Laertes, would you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet, return shall know you are come home. We'll put on those shall praise your excellence and set double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you. Bring you in fine together and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not pursue the foils, so that with ease or with little shuffling you may choose the sword unbaited and pass of practice requite him for your father.
I will do it, and for that purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think of this. What stay? What noise?
Oh, woe doth tread upon another's heels so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh. Where?
There's a willow grows askant the brook that shows his oar leaves in the grassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she make of crown flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs, her coronet weeds, clamoring to hang on envious silver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches all old lauds, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto the element. But long it could be till her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned. Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore make her grave straight. The coroner hath sat on it and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
What has found so?
It must be, say, offendendo. It cannot be else. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is willy-nilly he goes, mark you that. But if the water comes to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argal, that is not guilty of his own death, shortens not his own life.
Will you have truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out a Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest. And the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade. What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well, in good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now, thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. Cudgel thy brains no more about it, and when you are asked this question next, say, a grave maker. The houses he makes last till doomsday. Go get thee in and fetch me a stoup of liquor. In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract, the time before my behove, methought there was nothing meet.
Has this fellow no feeling of this business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
But age with his stealing steps hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me into the land as if I had never been such.
That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. Why, may not that be the skull of a lawyer? Where be his quiddities now, his quillets, his cases, his tenures, his tricks? Why does he suffer this mad knave now to knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel and not tell him of his action of battery? I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave is this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pity of clay for to be made for such a guest is meet.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
What woman, then?
For none, neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
Oh, one that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. By the Lord, Horatio, this 3 years I have took note of it. The age is grown so picked that the toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier, he galls his kibe. How long hast thou been a gravemaker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last king Hamlet had overcame Fortinbras. It was that very day that young Hamlet was born, he that is mad and sent into England.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say, even with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Oh, why, here in Denmark.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent to England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, 'tis no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Oh, faith, if he be not rotten before he die, he will last you some 8 year or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he will keep out water a great while, and your water is a sore decayer of your whoreson dead body. Here's a skull that now hath lain you in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
Pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This same skull, sir, was Sir Yorik's skull, the king's jester.
This?
Even that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how abhorred is it in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriments that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning? Quite chapfallen? Now get you to my lady's chamber and tell her, let her paint an inch thick. To this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. I prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing. Dost thou think Alexander looked of this fashion in the earth?
Even so.
And smelt so?
Even so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why, may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander thus? Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returneth to dust. The dust is earth, of earth we make loam, and why, of that loam whereto he was converted, might they not stop a bunghole of a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. But soft a while. Here comes the king, the queen, and courtiers. Who is it they follow with such maimed rites? 'Twas of some estate. Couch me a while and mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command o'ersways the order, she should in ground unsanctified been lodged till the last trumpet. Yet here she is allowed her virgin krantz, her maiden instruments, and her bringing home of bell and burial.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What, the fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet, farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewn thy grave.
Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made to o'ertop old Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well. I prithee take thy fingers from my throat, for though I am not splentative and rash, yet I have in me something dangerous, which let thy wisdom fear. Hold off thy hand! I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her? Swoons, show me what thou would do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself, would eat up Isel, drink crocodile. I'll do it. Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us until our ground, singeing the pate against the burning zone, make Ossa a wart.
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
For love of God, forbear him. This is mere madness. And thus a while the fit will work on him, anon as patient as the female dove, when that her golden couplets are disclosed. His silence will sit drooping.
Hear you, sir. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and the dog will have his day.
I pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon him. Strengthen your patience in last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, sit some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument, an hour of quiet thereby shall we see. Till then, in patience proceeding be.
I am very sorry, good Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself. For by the image of my cause I see the portraiture of his. I'll court his favors. But sure, the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion. So much for this, sir. Now shall you see the other. There's a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will.
That is most certain.
Up from my cabin, my sea gowns scarfed about me, in the dark, groped I to find out them. I had my desire, fingered their packet, and in fine withdrew me to mine own room again, making so bold, my fingers, not forgetting manners, to unfold in their grand commission, where I found Horatio, a royal knavery, an exact command on the supervised, no leisure baited, my head should be struck off.
Is it possible?
Here's the commission. Read it at more leisure. Being thus benetted round with villains, or I could make a prologue to my brains, they had begun to play. I sat me down, devised a new commission, an earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, as love between them like the palm might flourish, and many such like ases of great charge, that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should those bearers put to sudden death, not shriving time allowed.
How was this sealed?
Why, even in that was heaven ordinate. I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of that Danish seal. Folded up the writ in the form of the other, subscribed it, gave it the impression, placed it safely, the changeling never known.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience.
It must be shortly known to him from England what is the issue of the business there.
It will be short. The interim is mine.
Peace, who comes here?
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all the diligence of spirit. Put thy bonnet to its right use, 'tis for the head.
I thank your lordship, it is very hot.
No, believe me, 'tis very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
But yet, methinks it is very sultry and too hot for my complexion.
Exceedingly, my lord. It is very sultry. As 'twere, I cannot tell how. My lord, his majesty bade me signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head. Sir, here is newly come to the court Laertes. Believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very soft society and great showing.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
His purse is empty already. All his golden words are spent.
Of him, sir.
I know you're not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence. But to know a man well were to know himself.
I mean, sir, for his weapon. But in the imputation laid on him by them, in his meed, he's unfellowed.
What is his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but well.
The king, sir, hath wagered with him 6 Barbary horses, against the which he has impawned, as I take it, 6 French rapiers and poniards with their assigns as girdle, hangers, and so. 3 of the carriages, in faith, are very dear to fancy, very responsive to the hilt, most delicate carriages, and of very liberal conceit.
What call you the carriages?
The carriages, sir, are the hangers.
The phrase would be more germane to the matter if we could carry cannon by our sides. But on. 6 Barbary horses against 6 French swords, their assigns, and 3 liberal conceited carriages. That's the French bet against the Danish? Why is this all impawned, as you call it?
The king, sir, hath laid, sir, that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath laid on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
Sir, I will walk here in the hall. If it please his majesty, it is the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose. I will win for him, and I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame in the odd hits.
Shall I deliver you e'en so?
To this effect, sir, even after what flourish your nature will.
You will lose, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. Thou wouldst not think how all's here about my heart. But it is no matter.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither, and say you are not fit.
No, not a whit. We defy augury. There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be now, if it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man of aught he leaves knows what 'tis to leave behind, let be.
Come, Hamlet. Come and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I have done you wrong. But pardon it as you are a gentleman. What I have done, that might your nature, honor, and expectation roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness. If Hamlet from himself be taken away, and when he is not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? His madness. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts that I have shot my arrow over the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, but in my terms of honor I stand aloof and will no reconcilement, till by some elder masters of known honor I have a voice and precedent of peace to keep my name ungored. But, till that time, I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely. Come, give us the foils, come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These foils all have a length.
Aye, my good lord.
Set me the stoops of wine upon that table. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup a union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cups. Now, the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
One!
No!
Judgment!
A hit, a very palpable one.
Well, again.
Hey, give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come. Another hit! What say you?
Touch, I do confess it.
Here, Hamlet, take my napkin. Rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink!
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
My lord, I'll hit him now. And yet it is almost against my conscience.
Come for the third, Laertes. You do but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I'm afeard you'll make a wanton of me.
Say you so. How about you now?
Part them, they are incensed.
Nay, come again.
Look to the queen there. Ho!
They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
How is it, Laertes?
There's a woodcock to mine own springe, Osric. I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the queen?
Oh, she swoons to see them bleed.
No, the drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, the drink. I'm poisoned.
No.
Oh, villainy! Oh, let the door be locked! Treachery, seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour's life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me.
No.
I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned.
No.
The king's to blame.
No.
Envenom too? Envenom to thy work! Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane! Drink off this potion! Is thy union here?
No.
Follow my mother!
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Thou livest. Report me in my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go! By heaven, I'll have it! Oh, God. Horatio, what a wounded name. If thou dost ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. The rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. What is it you will see? If aught of woe or wonder, cease your search.
Having technical there, wait. There's Fortinbras.
For me, with sorrow, I embrace my fortune. I have some memory. Where is this bloody sight?
What is it you will see? If aught of woe or wonder, cease your search.
O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell that thou so many princes at a shot so bloodily hast struck?
Muted.
What is that, ambassador? Speak up.
The sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Since so jump upon this bloody question, you from the Polish wars and you from England are here arrived. Give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to the view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about.
For me, with sorrow, I embrace my fortune. I have some rights of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my advantage doth invite me. Let 4 captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to the stage, for he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royally. And for his passage, the soldier's music and the rights of war speak loudly for him. Take up the bodies. Such a sight as this becomes the field, but here shows much amiss. Go bid the soldiers shoot.
Yay! Oh, okay. We had some technical difficulties, but we made it through. Okay, so before we end this though, so Mika had drawn a dumb show for us, and then Windows made him sign in again, and so the dumb show didn't happen. So Mika, if you want, we're gonna play the dumb show for us so that it exists on this.
Yes, hopefully Windows will cooperate this time.
We're gonna try again. Pretend this was the play within a play.
This play is already a comedy.
Yay! Oh my god, I love it so much.
Damn it. Well, there you have it.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Just so everyone is aware, we don't rehearse these things. We read through them one time. We read through these plays once and then stream them for the public.
I legitimately have no idea what the heck happened there.
And also we really are actors. We really are.
Believe us. We're really
I'm not, but I play one on television.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and great job to everybody reading. In spite of we had some technical difficulties. We had some Zoom going in and out for people. I just realized I left my name as Ophelia's Angry Ghost. Oops. We change our names during the chat. Anyway, So thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching, and we will be back on the Ides of March with Julius Caesar. So.